Hello, hello. Welcome back, you guys, to Let's Vibe Podcast. In today's episode, I just have this urge, this feeling to have this conversation and really examine and talk about who you are being. I don't know why I just keep getting this phrase spoken to me of who are you being? Who are you being? Who are you being? And it's related to kind of me and where I'm at in life, but I also feel like it's a message for you guys. And I really just wanted to, do this episode and really talk about who you are being and the importance of identity. And this is so key because I feel like I am in this massive system upgrade of my identity. I was actually talking to a mentor of mine about this, and I am just in this portal and this quantum leap, and it's all from who I am being and choosing to be and choosing to embody. So this is more of a nuanced conversation and to bring some awareness to maybe who you have been being, because if you have these goals and aspirations and dreams you are wanting to get to, it's going to come with you examining who you are being today, who you have been, so that way you can start to make some shifts and changes into who you want to be. So that is where we're going in today's episode. Current life is just amazing. I started my new job. And I kicked off the Life as a Festival membership. That was the last episode we had talked about. We officially have 36 members inside Life as a Festival membership. This membership is going to be continuously open. I'm not closing the doors, so you're not behind if you want to join in now. We just had our kickoff call last night, which was so amazing. And this group of people is just so divine, so aligned. And it just makes me so happy to have this space because truly people are just wanting to connect. They're wanting a community. We have people that live in cities with not many rave communities in it, right? And we have people that are going through so many transitions and things in life and whatnot. And so this space is just really incredible. So if you're feeling like you could use some community, some guidance on where you're at in life, if you're in a big transition period, if you're trying to figure out what life looks like, or maybe you're kind of settling from a big shift and transition, we welcome you with open arms. So amazing to have 36 members inside, and I'm so excited to begin this amazing journey with them. And then this weekend I'm headed to Elements. So I'm actually working on the Elements Music Festival team, which I have never worked on a festival team before. So this is a really exciting and amazing opportunity that I'm so grateful for. I have been managing their TikTok account for the past year. And I'm not going to lie, it's been challenging to manage an account for a festival that I've never been to, but I just went to, what I know best about the TikTok algorithm, what I know best, what works on rave and festival TikTok, right? And so it's definitely been very interesting, but it's been so rewarding to watch that account grow from when I first took it over. I think when I took it over, it had maybe 2,300, 2,500. And then now we're at about 7,000. And now that I actually am going to go on site, get actual footage and create content on site, get a feel for the festival, I feel like it's just going to take that account even bigger. So I'm really excited for what's to come with that. And I'm so excited to go to my first Elements. I'm going to see my besties, Emma and BB, who I haven't seen in so long. And so that's why this episode just really kind of came up, because when I am putting all these wins and sharing them with you guys, getting a new 9-to-5, getting a salary that is the biggest salary I've ever gotten so far, getting these opportunities to work on a festival media team, having a coaching business, what was that? And a membership, and having all of these things, having the relationship, having the friendships, having the life I do in Austin, there's no here's what I did 1, 2, 3 to get this, right? I was talking to this about a mentor, is that sometimes I get asked these questions oh, how did you do this? How did you do that? In terms of getting a job in the industry, how did you do it? How did you network? What it really boils down to is who I have been and who I am being, right? I naturally just attract opportunities that is because of who I am being, right? And I do a really good job with those opportunities. I show up when those opportunities fall into my lap, and then that generates more, right? I don't really have this like, oh, I did this outreach, I did that, like you need to follow this. Like even my job that I got, I went to a networking event and I connected with that person there, and then I kept an eye on their careers page. And then I applied, and then I stayed in touch with someone at the company. And like, it was this whole thing that it wasn't like, oh, I sent a bunch of outreach messages, I submitted a bunch of applications. It was me putting myself out there in my energy, owning my strengths in the interview process, and all because of who I am being, right? And so I wanted to like have this conversation in today's episode so you could really examine and see like, okay, who have I been? Who have I been trying to be? What have I really been stepping into? You know, if you have read the book Atomic Habits, he talks about forming your habits is going to be based off of the identity that you are embodying, right? So the example he always gives is if you're a runner, you're going to do the habits and routines that associate with being a runner. If you're a writer, you're going to do the habits and routines that associate with being a writer. And so attaching these habits to a certain identity allows you to actually follow through on them. And vice versa, if you're just saying like, oh, like I'm trying to run, or I think I'm going to run, or I think I'm going to write, I think I'm going to create content, the likelihood of you actually following through on those actions and habits reduces down by a lot because you're not attaching it to your own identity. And so that is why this work is super important for you to really start to reflect on and start to, you know, not be hard on yourself. Just start to view this from that like scientist perspective. Like if you were looking at your life and overviewing you, looking at, you know, your identity as like a little avatar, as a Sims character, right? Be honest. What are some of those traits and qualities that you have adopted maybe over time, and not necessarily from, you know, looking at it from a lens of like it's good or bad, just looking at it for what it is and looking at it with just the ultimate compassion, because a lot of the times our identity is formed by the environment around us, the people around us, the experiences we go through. And we become this like shielded and molded version of ourselves because we had to in order to survive, right? And so a lot of the times with this work comes a little bit of like that deconditioning, you know. That's why I've gone on this whole alcohol-free journey, which by the way, an episode will come on that, that I'm back to not drinking. But I started to say, you know, I am a sober person. I am an alcohol-free person, right? And attaching that to my identity helped a lot in social situations where I'd be like, I'm just not a drinker, right? If I just say I'm not drinking, usually people would have questions about that. But if I'm saying I'm not a drinker, then people wouldn't ask anything about that because I've attached it to my identity. It's who I am, right? And so you could start to look and see like, you know, what does doom scrolling on TikTok for hours on end really say about me? What does continuously skipping a workout and skipping the gym mean about me? You know, you say you want to, you know, have this workout routine, you want to have this job, but then you're not like doing the actions and the steps to like allow that identity to really form. If you want to be like the fit raver boy or the fit raver girl, like, are you doing the actions it takes to make that happen? Are you getting the 10K steps a day? Are you staying hydrated? Are you going for your workouts, right? And I'm just talking kind of like about fitness, but if you're wanting to call in a new job, are you actually doing the actions and habits that associate that? Are you actually showing up? And this could also be other traits. Like, you know, for me, I am examining how I'm showing up in my own relationship, right? And some habits and things that I'm wanting to like let go of that I don't need to do anymore, right? Because I used to have very much more of like an anxious attachment, needing reassurance, or even feeling like I couldn't speak up in a relationship. So I'm like even having to like refresh my identity and how I'm showing up in a relationship, right? Like I've done this massive upgrade in how I show up as a content creator, as a business owner, you know, in my corporate job, in my day to day, right? And then I'm like, okay, wait, I also need to think about what makes me a good friend, what makes me a good daughter, what makes me a good girlfriend, and what are the traits that I want to have, being like an active listener, having intentional time and doing activities with like my friends or my boyfriend, right? FaceTiming my parents and checking in with them, And so I really want you to just start to move through your days, move through your week, and start to just have this awareness of like, who am I really being? And who like am I saying I want to be? Or like, when we talk about being like delusional, when we're trying to like manifest or whatever, like, are you actually like doing the embodiment of what you're trying to step into, right? Because then you can start to think of like who you're wanting to be. And when you go and try to like doom scroll too much, you would be like, would, this version of me be doing this, right? Would my higher self be doing this? Would Adriana 2.0 be doing this? And it causes you to like pause and be like, oh, nope, I'm going to close out TikTok. I'm going to, pick up a book instead, if you're like saying, oh, I want to go for a run in the morning, but again, you're staying up way too late, it'll cause you to be like, okay, no, I should probably examine that and start to go to bed early so I can get up for a run. And whatever it is that you're calling in. And this isn't like an attack, hopefully. This is really just to kind of like wake you up a little bit and just really ask, like, I keep getting this phrase, like, who are you being? Who are you being? Who are you being? And just start to look at life from that lens and start to just kind of like audit yourself of like, are you really being who you say you're being, right? If you have that like vision board that says like, I'm a badass, and whatever, right? Like, are you actually being that? Or like, a lot of the stuff that I've been working on, a lot of things that have been coming up with my clients is being seen, like across almost all of my one-on-one clients. We've been really working on that, which has been really interesting. Cause like whenever I have like a couple one-on-one clients, I can really kind of see some of the patterns and things and whatnot. And that's something that keeps coming up is like, this being seen. So are you actually taking the effort to allow yourself to be seen? Are you really actually being authentic? Are you actually being confident? What would the most confident version of you be doing? What would the most creative, the most successful, the most abundant, right? Like, I would just really start to channel and even maybe you have a note on your phone or you write out a list of like, okay, here's how like I feel like I'm being portrayed right now. And like, here's how I feel like I'm showing up, and just look at it from like the utmost compassion. Here's who I like think I want to be, or like what I think I'm trying to embody, and see where kind of like the misalignment happens. And the way that you can get yourself to that from like point A to point B is through like the habits, and doing the certain actions that associate taking you from unconfident and hard on yourself to fully confident, right? It takes you from, overthinking and wondering what's next to like taking action day by day and figuring it out as you go. And then there was something else that was coming through that I wanted to mention. What was it? Oh, duh. And then another key part here that I'll do a full dedicated episode on is human design. This is something that has been super helpful for me, is learning my human design, because that is a way of deconditioning from who we thought we needed to be, and to start to really own these traits and capabilities within us to then start shifting. And as I've done human design with myself, as I've done it with clients, it's helped all of us just become more confident in our decision making, become more confident in our strengths and our gifts, and decondition from who we thought we needed to be. It's also a really great tool for just learning how your energy works with yourself and with others as well. So there's more conversations to really come from this, but the point of today's episode, I really just want you to start to look at is like, who are you being? And just start to examine your life and your day to day. And then, we can talk about where you want to get to and how to actually create your life in other episodes, or this is stuff we are going to be working on in Life as a Festival, we're kicking off this membership. Month 1, we're really talking about envisioning your life as a festival and what that really looks like for you, and how to start creating it. We'll be doing that in month 2. And then in month 3, we'll be talking a lot more about like the balancing and embodiment of your life as a festival. And then from there, we're going to have monthly challenges, themes. Like, this membership is always going to be open. It's something that I'm going to be continuously growing. So if you want to get in, we just finished the early founding member price, but there is still a founding member price. It's $44 a month. No commitment. You can cancel anytime, but just give me a month. Give me a month. I can help you transform your life, get you where you need to go, get you clarity, whatever it may be. And you get to connect with an amazing community of other ravers. It's so cute, you guys. People are already like planning to meet up at different festivals and events around the country. Makes me super excited. And it's open to everyone. We do have 2 amazing male ravers inside. So if you are also a male and wanting to hop in here, you will not be alone. But this is really open to everyone. So I want you guys to all know that, but that is what we're kind of like cultivating and building inside of my membership, where you get access to weekly lessons, accountability, you get personalized coaching from me. And then we also have calls at least twice a month that you can look forward to. So that is everything a little bit about the membership. I'll put a link if you're interested in joining, but yeah, just keep asking yourself, who am I really being? Who am I being? Who am I being? And like take some time to maybe journal, reflect on this. Maybe when you're on your commute, you're like thinking about this, right? And that's when even just having the awareness, shifts can really start to happen. So I have my cards here that I pulled for the energy, the vibe of the week. So the affirmation for this week is, the universe is always helping me, sometimes in unexpected ways. So maybe look forward to something kind of shifting or transforming or coming your way that you weren't expecting. When it comes to what your higher self has to say, I actually had a client get this. So this is super interesting that this is coming up here. But note from your higher self says, shadow play. What if I told you the side of yourself that you thought was unlovable, unworthy, or shameful is actually the most powerful, beautiful, and brilliant part of yourself? Stop hiding her. Start getting to know her. She just wants a seat at your table and wants to tell you her side of things. The day will come when everything that made her feel worthless will become the story of how you found your true worth. I absolutely love that. And then we have the wishing well. So this says unexpected gifts, kindness, and karmic jewels. Very beautiful card. Someone else got this week too, or last week, I think. Okay. The message here is, wishing wells are found all over the world, and they mirror to us the great reverence held by our ancestors for Earth's fresh waters. The wishing well is a wonderful card that carries with it great blessings, gifts, and fulfilled wishes. When it appears in a spread, it's a sign that things are happening and that the realization of your dreams is likely to occur. Slay. Of course, any creation requires embodiment and action. Embodiment, I literally said that so many times. So it's not a sign to stop moving toward our dreams in practical ways. Rather, it offers deep encouragement to keep going and to trust that all the groundwork you've already put in place is working. It can also be a sign that helpful people are coming into your life to support you in creating your heart's deepest desires, aka me. No, I'm just kidding. There might be other people coming in to help you. So be open to, new people, new connections coming in that might be meant to be on your journey and whatnot. So that is it for this week's episode. I'm trying to be better about just posting an episode, even if it's not on the day that I intended. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you're going to Elements and you see me bopping around with my phone, definitely say hi. I would love to meet you. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, all the things. Give me a rating, review. I would appreciate it. It helps out the podcast. Okay, that's it. Bye.